Alright, so today, much like last time, we are going to be doing some D&D character work. Because that's the mood that I'm in. And also because I'm finally going to get to play D&D this week, and I'm very, very, very excited. Because it's been a hot second. Since college, more specifically. So I'm excited to get back in the saddle, so to speak. Thank you. Yes, I think I will have fun. I'm starting a new campaign with a new party. But the exciting thing, did it freeze? Come on, man. Alright. Not a very auspicious start, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I will have fun. I'm very excited, because my new DM is absolutely fantastic. And I'm really looking forward. She has made us a homebrew world, a full homebrewed campaign, so it doesn't take place in the typical 9 realms that a lot of D&D stuff takes place in. But we sat down for our session 0 a little over a month ago now, I think, and her talking about the world just got me super excited. And what also made me excited was because I hadn't played D&D in a while, and I kind of came into it, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna make a character that is pretty self-indulgent, shall we say. And when I asked her if I could include anything from the Cthulhu mythos, which is my current big fixation, that's what I've been really into for a couple years. One moment, sorry, there might also be a dog. Lots of sounds today. But anyway, the Lovecraft and obviously The King in Yellow and stuff by other contemporaries of that time I've been very interested in for the last couple of years. And so I was very interested in the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer subclass that D&D has included, which is very much D&D's how they choose to include some of that eldritch cosmic horror in their player characters. And when she asked me well, what spooky thing do I want to include, and I said, can I have the Crawling Chaos? And she switched to a pre-made slide in her campaign notes talking about the Great Old Ones. So obviously it's meant to be. We are in the same mental space. We're coming at this from a similar interests. But yeah, I'm going to be playing an Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. And I love Sorcerer is just such the it's the glass cannon class. They're very fun to play. I haven't actually played a sorcerer since high school, so I think I will definitely have a little bit more like role playing skill under my belt at this point. But we'll see how it goes. My character, yeah, I am like practicing his voice in my head, how I want him to sound, how I want him to speak. I think, and this is something that I've talked about with my fellow players, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. I do think he's going to be a little bit of a dick, a little bit of a jerk. Not overtly, not a terrible person to RP with. But he's kind of coming from a like hyper religious, hyper. He's a little season 1. Ooh, that dog is one. Ooh, okay. But he's coming at it a little. If forgive me for the reference, this is tends to be what I do. He's coming at it from a little bit of a Kristen Applebee's season 1 of Dimension 20 perspective, in the sense that he thinks the world should be a certain way, and he knows that it is not a certain way, but he doesn't really know how to adjust to that. So we're gonna see how he reacts to the other players, who I know from our session 0 are all over the place in terms of belief. I don't know if I like the wide smile. He looks too sinister here. I want him to look nice, and he looks sinister. Does the little okay, we'll keep the eyebrows normal for now. Yeah, that is my dog, and I apologize deeply for him. I love him very much. He is a very sweet boy. However, there is another dog in our neighborhood that he does not like. And that dog just walked in front of the window, and obviously that's not allowed. So my dog had to inform everybody in the building that the German Shepherd is walking by, and he is trying to protect me. I wish he wouldn't, because he is. I believe he could try, but he is not that big, and I want him to know his limits and not antagonize things that are larger than him. But that's, we can't always get what we want. He's sweet when you warm up to him, or when he warms up to you. So he doesn't like other big dogs. They make him upset. His heart is very big. So I'm including. I know where the character design is going. Here's what I'm doing for this. I'm trying to create 3 base images for my character. This character's name is Bailey, by the way. I haven't introduced him. His name is Bailey Blackthorn, which I know is a very D&D basic name. But again, we were just going. We're having fun here. We're not. I was trying to go a little stereotypical this time around. His name is Bailey Blackthorn. He is in this first image, a sweet boy that nothing bad ever happens to. And he's raised in a pretty tight-knit religious community that he loves with all his heart. And I'm kind of trying to design his like ceremonial robes, basically. The god that he is supposed to be worshipping, which is one of the gods that my DM created, is called Katha. They are the Eye of Night. They are a protector of travelers. I am on the wrong layer. Okay. So you make a layer to prevent this, and then you don't use it. There he goes. They're very intended to be a very like loving like family like kind of not one of like the major gods of the pantheon, kind of a like if I were to compare it to anything, Artemis or Hestia, something like smaller but still important. Not a violent god, though they do have a violent aspect. And he's been raised. Yeah, yes, everything outside of the border is the Shadow Realm in terms of Procreate and how Procreate works. Because that's how you delete things in Procreate. It cannot save stuff outside of the borders of your canvas based on just how it saves space, how it manages to fit on an iPad. So it just deletes it. So there were 2 Baileys, and now there is only 1. Anyway. So Bailey was raised in this, like I said, tight-knit religious community with his mom and his sister and like a lot of aunts and uncles and other people who helped raise him. And they were always very... I don't think he wears shoes at this point in his life. I think they're kind of hippies. I say with so much love and respect in my heart. And then, so that's down there. Anytime I need to make a religious figure, I just end up doing this. It's kind of basic, so I might change it later. I think I did this with my lamb design from Cult of the Lamb too, and I apologize. But here we go. This piece here, I kind of want to function as a blindfold. Like, that's how it would be traditionally used. And it would be pulled tight by someone else. I think in terms of the cult, I think someone else would, like in the ceremony, would come up and tie the blindfold around your face. Which isn't, stressful at all. Not suspicious in any way, shape, or form. Don't worry about the sketch that's next to this one. But I want to, I've taken these little icons that my DM created. I think most of them are just stock imagery. And then I will kind of combine them. Maybe this actually goes down to the floor because it's flowy. It's gonna kind of be hard to walk over, but maybe he doesn't need to walk over it that much. It's just for show. Okay, he is real wobbly. Let's try it. Okay, let's see. Arms are a little too long. All right, there we go. And there's going to be an eye down here. And I imagine because they have magic that this kind of smoke maybe moves and curls up. And I'm gonna give him a flower crown just for fun. He deserves one. Not culty at all. All right, there we go. He's a little half elf. He's a little half elf. There we go. That's what I want his nose shape to be. If I do, I think part of the problem is I want his eyes. Too bad he's going to experience the horrors. And that's, listen, sadly, this must, in any D&D character's life, there comes a time where they have to experience the horrors. Are we gonna fix his little face? No. Too wide, too scary. Yes, okay, there he goes. He looks kind of like confident, a little like he's like sure of himself and calm. That's good. That's what I want. And we're gonna just. There we go. Perfect. I want this silhouette. Like, I don't want the silhouette to be crazy because he is kind of in a state of control. So, but I don't know. He gets puffy sleeves later, so I was kind of reflecting on that. But let's say instead of the puffy sleeves, and this is like, I have to stop working on this because we have other things to do. These are wonky arms, but that's okay. Okay, I think okay. Now we've got like kind of a moment. This is something. I think to give context. Hello. Hi. Welcome in. We're drawing a D&D character of mine because I get to play him this week and I'm very excited about it. The scene that is taking place here with him in his funny little outfit, I think, is he is preparing to do this like coming of age ritual. He's just turned 18. He's been training to be a sorcerer for this religious group. He's studying under these people who serve this god, and he's really into it. He's very excited. He's all ready. It's his big day. This arm is not. It's just gonna keep giving me trouble. Nope. Whoa. Okay. But his younger sister is kind of the black sheep of the family and is not as gung-ho about the prospect of like giving their lives to this god. But he's older, he's going first. So he's showing her that it's okay. And I think in this scene, he's got his hands behind his back as like someone is reading to like the new recruits, the group of people who are about to be blessed by the god or whatever. And but he sees his like sister in the crowd and he gives her a little wave. Yeah, I think. Just a little, it's all good. All right. Okay, there we go. That's his little cult outfit. And next we have, turns out things were maybe not so good. The title of this piece, turns out things were maybe not so good. So, just checking everything. Okay. So we have Bailey about a minute, maybe 30 seconds post coming of age ritual. And here's the thing. Bailey has seen coming of age rituals before in his cult, and I'm gonna start calling it a cult now because that is what it is. He's pretty sure that they are not supposed to end with everybody covered in blood. He doesn't think anybody is dead. In fact, he doesn't know where the blood came from. But it's in his eyes. And he's upset is the thing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about whose blood. Don't worry about it. It's blood, okay? It's red. Might be everywhere. So, and he's, you know, he's not doing so hot, maybe. Flowers are gone. He doesn't, the flowers, I'm sorry. All right, let's see. You think something may have gone wrong? Whatever could have, what could have given you that impression? Anyway, Bailey may have been raised in a cult. However, he's pretty sure that the cult hasn't necessarily been lying to him. He thinks the cult has been lied to. He thinks that he was supposed to, in his little communion, in his little coming of age ritual, he was supposed to commune with his God. And that didn't happen. Katha didn't talk to him, didn't tell him any words of wisdom, or wish him safe travels, or go send him on a quest. Instead, he got a lot of blood for his 18th birthday. Everybody say happy 18th birthday to my child. The arms. What is with the arms today? I don't know. I was so good at using reference last time, and today I simply did not have time to do that. So we are just going for it. For fun. There we go. Okay. So, blood, blah, 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 blah. All of the dark spots. You know how listen, if you've seen my art before, you know that sometimes I just draw blood as black ink. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. He is... he also has a little hole in his head. So that's where some of the blood is coming. Some of the blood is his. We don't need to worry about anybody else. Some of the blood is his. Yeah, happy birthday. Sorry about the horrors. And the blindfold. But yeah, he saw something bad. Listen, how else am I supposed to describe that? He has a little hole in his head. He's fine. It's just a little hole. It's not a big one. I said little. Little. Come on. Yeah, and then he runs away into the woods. He's very upset. He's had a tough day, as you can imagine. That part of it. No more eye for him. That part got torn off. Don't know how, but it doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, this leads him going on a little woods excursion, because he is attempting to get away from whatever he has just seen, because he didn't like it very much. I don't think any size of a hole in the head is good. Well, that's your opinion. Okay, how are we looking, buddy? Yay! And you're still on the wrong layer. Why does this keep happening? I swear to God, I'm not clicking this layer. Okay, we're gonna do that again. Wrong layer. Bailey gets sent to the Shadow Realm again. There we go. He's giving Carrie right now. I think. He's a little Carrie-esque. Which is not the vibe, necessarily. He loves, like, the people at this event really liked him. This is not a prank gone wrong. He has some psychic powers, kind of. Now, so here's, as I said before, Bailey is what in D&D is referred to as an aberrant mind sorcerer, which is a very fun subclass. And what it means, basically, is that you specialize in both mind magic and turning into goo. Now, Bailey doesn't get to do the goo thing yet because he's only level 3. I think he's level 3. He might be level 5. I think he's level 3. Yeah, goo. Don't worry about it. Well, okay. I will. He is gooless currently. He gets goo later. He will get to the goo. But right now, he's brand new to this. Originally, again, he was training to be kind of a normal sorcerer. He was just gonna, it was like in his bloodline. He's gonna train, he was gonna attune to the stuff that his order like had, and that's how he was gonna do magic. Now though, now he doesn't need to do any of that stuff, because someone stuck a tongue in his brain. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry. A what? A tongue. Did you not hear me? I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. This is why, again, when I went to my DM and was like, can I put the Crawling Chaos in your campaign? She was like, yes, of course, here you go. And I was like, thank you. Because originally, can I be honest with you all? And this is between us. Originally, when I was like, how am I gonna make my self-indulgent character? Originally, I was like, oh, well, I gotta make something with Haster. I gotta make something with my guy, the King in Yellow, my best friend. But then, as I was writing the characters, and I was having a really fun time with, like, this cult idea, and I was thinking of, like, masks and having, like, the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer and what like powers that relates to, I was like, I think it would be a little bit more fun if the god of blood and tongues and teeth was playing around in there. So that's why he's here. He's in there. But don't worry about it. Yeah, and so Bailey's color palette, which we might get to a little bit today, has gone from blue to red, essentially. There's this shift. And we're gonna redraw his in-campaign outfit. The order of this is... Well, these are both pre-campaign. So we'll now 1 year. 1 year plus 1 day. Listen. I'm saying listen too much. I'll go into a little bit more of the horrors. The way that the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer works is that in the D&D, like when you're building it, the idea is that they have witnessed something or they have experienced something that has allowed a piece of a like cosmic entity or an aberration to enter their mind, and that is what gets them their powers. So now Bailey has to deal with a lot more like new magic that he cannot quite control. That time it was kind of the wrong layer, but it worked out in the end. so he has to deal with a lot of new magic that he doesn't quite know how to control, which is one of the fun things about playing a sorcerer, though he's not wild magic, obviously. The thing about Bailey now is that he's run away from the cult, and he doesn't want to go back, though he is very concerned. His goal at the moment is to figure out what he saw and what got in him, and what is attempting to trick his cult into worshiping it instead of the god that they should be worshiping. The answer is the crawling chaos. But don't worry, but he doesn't know that yet. My first day at magic school, I hope no one realizes I haven't seen the horrors yet. Why is there boss music playing? Yeah. I mean, that's not... He is now actually at magic school. Though he is not there to be a student. He's currently working at a college library. He is working there just so he can get access to the stuff in the library. I think his hair has gotten a little bit longer. It's also a little bit greasier. Bailey, I hate to do this to you. I just don't think I don't think he's showering enough. I'm sorry to say. Oh, it stopped. Come on, man. Let's see. Huzzah. Okay. I think his hair has gotten a little bit longer, and it's also a little greasier. He is not taking care of himself as much as he maybe should. He still takes care of himself. He's not depressed. He's just paranoid. So he doesn't like doing a lot of things that leave him vulnerable for too long. Including, but not limited to, sleeping. This man is functioning on 4 hours of sleep in maybe the last couple of days. I think, oh my god, I actually wrote this down in his character sheet. Hold on. And I thought I was so funny at the time, but it is. Oh, yeah, Bailey looks like he hasn't slept in 2 weeks, but that's actually a compliment considering it's been 5. So he's, you know, it's tough. I think his face is a little longer than I've drawn it here. Stretchy. So he's doing his job. He works at the library, because he gets free access to the books that he would normally have to be studying at school to get access to. And he's pretty good at it, actually. Like, Bailey knows how to be a people person. Like, he is good at... He is specifically what the DM has referred to as a book runner. His job is to get books, bring them to people, figure out what books people want. A lot of... one of the reasons we're doing this campaign is because me and my friends all have experience in either working in libraries or bookstores, so this is a very fun little, partially meta campaign for us, because we are all taking some of our real life experience and putting it in there. Let's see. But he can be personable when he wants to be. It's just that he also has kind of a bad vibe. he is running on hopes and dreams and that weird tongue thing in his brain. Yes, he has hopes. He has dreams. His hopes and dreams include figuring out what happened to his religious sector, why everything is weird, making sure that his sister is okay, making sure that his mom is okay. I have he gets a little like book thing that he carries around, which is in the reference. But the pose for this one is coming from like a. I don't like. He looks too in pain here, though. That's kind of the point. Like he's really trying his best to be like, look, ta-da! Here's the books that you ordered. Aren't we good? I'm doing good. I'm performing being a normal guy. And he is middling at it. Does the tongue talk to him? That I don't know. At the current moment, I'm going to say no. I think that might be something that we figure out in while role playing. This is not. Again, I could have just made my character a malevolent pastiche, and I chose not to. Okay, I exhibited restraint. I want everybody to note that. But let's see. I do think, there's a couple of narrative threads that my DM and I have worked out. And since one of those is, hey, what did I see? There's a possibility that he could communicate eventually with the entity that he touched, that he contacted. And we will see. We'll see what happens when that comes to pass. Can I be honest? I gave him this little half cloak in his original design, and I really liked it. But I'm mad because Hero Forge doesn't have little half cloaks. So proud of you for showing restraint. Yeah, I appreciate the pride. It almost didn't happen. It almost didn't happen. I do have in the back of my head and also in the back of my Google Docs, I have notes for if I put Arthur Lester in D&D. First of all, he is a bard who is also now a warlock. Let's just get that straight. I think you could also make an argument that he could be like a rogue, like an investigator. But I think bard is more fun. Bard that also does investigation. What is with these arms today, gang? Okay. He wears shoes now. Because he's grown as a person. That sounds mean. If you don't want to wear shoes, you don't have to. Mostly. I think he's still like he leans towards flowy clothing because that's what he's used to. Like that's what makes him feel comfortable. And so that's kind of still what he wears, even though if he's changed his outfit to fit the new uniform. Okay, he's gonna clutch his little. That's fine. It's still, the arms are wonky today. That's okay. Bard having like a toxic yaoi relationship with music is quite fitting for Arthur, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think like D&D classes are kind of like D&D classes and backstories can kind of be weird because like you could think, oh, it would make sense for him to already have like levels in this, but he's now more actively at this. If you really wanted to like flesh out a character who has more than one like core thing, which Arthur does. Arthur is a pretty complex character. Or not, well, I will say complex, but what I mean when I say complex is multi-layered, multifaceted. And I think at the start of the leveling, he would have a couple levels in Bard, and then he would gain levels in Warlock. Because I'm very much on the Arthur Lester can do magic because he has a god in his brain. It's the only thing keeping him alive. Oh, I forgot his other eyebrow. That's great. There you go. But yeah, I also, one other thing about Bailey that I'm very excited to roleplay. I don't know how it'll mesh with the other characters because I know this is a pretty deception heavy party. So we'll see if I stick with it or not. But one thing that I wanted to do with his ideals is because he was raised like with this deity that really emphasized like truth and honesty. He sees truth as like this very high virtue, and he really looks down at people who lie. And because of the stuff that he has been through, he is a compulsive liar. He is not honest ever in his life. You ask where he's from, he'll say 2 states over. He's bending kind of fun. I know when I flip this, it's gonna look weird. Oh yeah, you've got. Okay, still a little wonky, but slightly better in terms of proportion. Fix his legs. All right, I've got about like 10 more minutes, I'll say. Thank you again for coming in and hanging out with me. But in the meantime, we'll do some color palette stuff. Why not? I already know what his hair and skin look like. I do think, like in the reference image that I've got that I've already that I did for his character sheet at the start, I do think his skin has probably gotten a little paler, like he's gotten a little bit more washed out. I think again, just because he's not eating like as much as he normally would, he's not sleeping as much as he normally would, he is experiencing some problems from that, including but not limited to paler skin. He's lost a little bit of color, so I will give him a little bit darker of a complexion. I will say he's also, not to keep the D20 references coming, he's a little Evan Kelp. Not quite, though, because he actually does have like a semi-loving home life. I love Evan Kelp, though. one of the greats. Oh no, that's not intentional. There we go. So this blue is what Katha is. So what we're gonna do and then I'm gonna say that this lighter blue is the base. Bit of a silly question. In the colored reference pic you have, is that spike coming out of his head, or is that... Oh, that is a spike coming out of his head. No, not a spike. Sorry, the other thing you said. That's just kind of a representation of his magic. That's not like actually there technically, but it's part of the entity that he saw. So it's part of what he saw. It's where he gets his magic. It's a representation of, like I said, the aberrant mind. You get kind of a crack in your mind that is filled in with whatever entity you have, and that is in D&D terms, that's his crack. Yes. So he's just got a little guy hanging out. He's just got a little guy. Okay, we've got this. Gonna make it a smidge darker. Be a little too pink. Mm-hmm. I realized belatedly after answering your question that you can't actually see. I was zooming in. It's good now. I still think this is a little too pink for him. Hold on. Slightly more realistic. Okay. Slightly more. That's actually not much darker. Oh. Okay, there we go. That's a tan. That's a slightly tan, but still kind of pale person. I think the flowers were probably mostly white and this like kind of light blue. Then he had gray eyes. think these things at his wrist were probably silver. And I'm gonna say that the blindfold is actually silver as well. Did I forget? Oh my goodness. Forgot to draw it. All right. He was not an offering. To be fair to them, he is a good-looking offering, but not an offering. Just a kind of committing. It's almost kind of weird. This is the cult thing. This cult, even though they probably didn't know that they were doing anything nefarious, they were worshiping something quite bad. Don't do it basically it's like a marriage ceremony, which is pretty weird. Even before all the other stuff. It's a little like, like how a nun is technically married to God or whatever. I don't actually know how that works. I'm going to be real before I start saying something wrong and probably incredibly offensive. But it's kind of like that. So he gets a little silver little silver. I almost said bow tie. Little silver offering there. This can be silver too, and that'll be. And that's his old color palette. And then I'm gonna try to do this so quick. We're not gonna color the last one. I just want to do Carrie Bailey. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then we've got the hair. And I think the blood, if you've ever seen anybody, and I apologize if what I'm about to say is upsetting, but someone who has like blood into their eye, it like kind of gets everywhere. Anyway, that's what this is. It's not, he doesn't have magically red eyes, it's just blood. So the eye got torn off. Blindfold is gone. I'm gonna say the eye in the middle is probably red now. Make the blood darker on this bit. And then a little bit of things still peeking out. Little white eyes. flowers also turned red because of the blood. Okay, that's a very, very messy rush job of a color, but there he is. He's mostly done. And there we have it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this time around. I'll probably be doodling more of him as we start our campaign. I'll hopefully clean these up a little bit so I have the reference going forward and I can put it in his backstory sheet. But yeah, thanks again. Have a nice night, everybody. Oh, and Happy New Year.